What's going on, everybody? My name is TJ Harris, and as you know, I'm just here to give you a little bit of news that you can use and some knowledge that you might not be getting in college, right? So what this video will be about today is the expansion of our vision and the power of belief, right? So I was talking to a young guy that I mentored the other day, right? And he had some questions as far as if his business ventures will work, and I told him, like, to be honest, bro, if you have to question it, then to be honest, it probably won't work, you know? Like, do you think that Kobe Bryant had to ask somebody, like, man, do you think my jump shot is pretty good? What do you think? Right, how's my handles? What do you think? And he didn't have to ask those questions for reassurance because he knew, right? But because my confidence comes from my preparation, and I know exactly how hard I had to work to get here, you know? So it's not a question of if it's gonna happen, but when, right? And I'm not saying that's gonna happen tomorrow, the day after that, but I'm not gonna question the if it's gonna happen, right? Because I'm so big in myself, this has to happen. I cannot fail. I can't. All right, so I give you this. Everybody's favorite verse, right? It's Philippians 4:13. Everybody's favorite one to recite. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? Everybody loves it, but very certain people actually believe that verse. Because if you take a step back and you break that verse down, the beginning of that scripture is self-accountability. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? And the ending of that verse, Christ who strengthens me, that means that God gave you everything that you need in order to fight the good fight, in order for you to be successful in your endeavors, right? He gave it to you. So then there's another quote that says, listen, our greatest and our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, right? Our biggest and our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So when I was young, I never understood that. I'm like, man, why would we fear that we can do whatever? That doesn't make sense, right? But the reason why that's our greatest fear is because it removes every excuse that we have. You see what I mean? We're not scared that we are inadequate. We're scared that, man, I can do whatever, but I'm not, right? So everybody loves Philippians 4:13, but subconsciously, that's actually our greatest fear. So you mean I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, so why don't you? You see? It removes the excuse from us. So and then we have the question of why did Jesus weep? Right? Why did Jesus weep? And the answer to that question is through lack of faith and lack of belief. Right? I'm talking about Jesus going around and performing all these amazing and miraculous miracles, giving sight to the blind, and you still don't believe. Right? So I'll make it even more practical with how many times have we made God cry because our lack of faith and our lack of belief. I'm talking about how many times that God made a way out of no way, right? And you're concerned about a business not working, But the reason why we do that is because we're limited here. We don't actually believe. We don't actually believe, And there's another verse, Hebrews 10:35, that says, don't ever abandon your confidence, for it will be duly rewarded, right? Duly rewarded. So if you look up the word duly, that'll mean in time, So it's not a question of if, again, it's not a question of if, but a question of when, because I know it's going to happen. I'm big in myself. I know this is going to happen, right? And so as our belief in ourselves starts to expand, our vision also starts to expand. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like the sky is the limit, But here's the beautiful part. This thing right here between our ears. This is our own world. You see what I mean? I'm talking about anything goes in here, right? This is what you own. This is your universe. This is your world, right? I'm saying like I'm 7 foot, 500 pounds, and I'll slay Goliath. You see what I mean? This is my world. I own this, right? And there's a quote from Albert Einstein that says, listen, your imagination is far greater than knowledge, right? Because knowledge is limited, but your imagination will allow you to embrace the entire world, right? It'll give birth to evolution. Right? But what happens is this, if we get enough no's in this world, subconsciously it'll start to affect this world, right? And it shouldn't. I'm talking about having a belief in self so big, I do not accept any impossibilities. For what? Says who? I'm talking about why can't you own your own Fortune 500 company? Why can't you be the next thing? Why can't you be better than Steve Jobs, right? Why not? So how about this? Let me know if these names sound familiar. Have you heard these names before? JP Morgan Chase, right? Armani, Ferrari, right? These are all world-renowned companies, right? That are named after somebody. after somebody who did not accept the no's that they got in this world, right? They believed in this world, right? I'm talking about not accepting any impossibilities. Why can't we have our own Fortune 500 company called TJ Harris Enterprise, right? I'm talking about a world-renowned business, right? Because if you can see it, then you can be it, but you got to see it in here, you know? And as your belief in self expands, so does your vision, right? And now we're talking about anything is possible, you know? So, man, listen, I hope that was helpful. I hope I gave you some little bit of skills that can pay the bills in there, man. But listen, man, guys, if we can expand our belief in ourself, right? And we can expand our visions. I'm talking about nothing is impossible, you know?